Souls are birthed from spirit, literally like a baby. And what does it mean for a soul to open its eyes or eye on a vast universe or set of universes and see itself existing within that vast expanse, that extremity of unknowable complexity and seeming violent events, suns exploding, galaxies being born, and then to be born into a body. How shocking would that be to go from being able to see the totality of seeming reality, and then to be kind of put in a phone booth and told to live in that phone booth over and over and over again as a methodology for learning and evolving as a soul, to learn via limitation, to evolve via prescribed limitation of being, whether you're incarnate as an animal or a bacteria or a human being or other species. Is that a limited vantage point? And is that shocking? And then from that limited, often seemingly powerless vantage point, to experience pain and suffering, personal and collective, to be part of a culture, a nation, or organization, group, or tribe in the past, and see all the people that you love killed. How beyond non-understandable, how beyond terrible. And to be brought into a situation of looking through the soul, the eyes of the soul, the eye chakras in the body, and to experience that seeming totality of loss, to be told, in essence, that this group that I am part of is everybody. It's all that matters. It's for my heart and my soul process, my tribal community process, it is the world. And how many times have tribes of people or nations or towns or religions or cultures been obliterated in tribal warfare or international warfare? How just as terrible to be assaulted as an individual, to be raped, killed, tortured, abused, victimized, and to be required to experience that totality of negative sensory input without the option of escape or looking away, if you will. How terrible to be the predator, how terrible to be the abuser, the destroyer, the killer in any lifetime, to be participant in war. If we supposedly go to war and win the war via the attrition of the enemy, killing combatants and innocent people, men, women, children on the other side, and then being told we're supposed to see that as victory and feel good about it and feel we're patriots, feel that we were the good people and they were the bad people. And how terrible and traumatizing and shocking is such a process. Just being born is traumatizing. Just being the moment of birth is traumatizing. And to seemingly be drawn from oneness with mother into independent existence on your own in the seemingly potentially cold, scary world, and to be so in such a vulnerable state as living as a baby. A soul, an infinitely powerful, capable soul, being required to live in the body of a newly birthed child. Is that a shock unto itself? Is that a learning experience that's priceless? Is that a humbling of the soul? Is all of this dynamic of shocking humiliation in our world, not humiliation. Is it a process of learning through vulnerability and humility and service and care and honoring of the pain and suffering and traumas of others and helping them through them and being helped through them by others? And what happens if you get layer upon layer upon layer of trauma and fear and recorded interpretations of victimization or having harmed and associated shame and guilt and self-judgment, self-loathing, self-hatred that seems to be without solution? And it's in a world that seems to be fighting dog eat dog, and each organizations operating as predators on individuals or groups or other organizations, nations operating as predators on other nations, the wealthy nations taking advantage of the poorer nations. How shocking, how painful, how terrible, and how numbing. All of this is working towards the word numbing paralysis. This numbing paralysis, how do we look through the lens of all of that with love? How do we look through the lens of all of that with forgiveness? How do we look through the lens of all of that pain and trauma and historical violence and competition and brutality of the past that we have not left behind? It's still circulating, cycling through the consensus consciousness as if it were just yesterday. The violence of thousands of years of human competitive and domineering and destructive dynamics that hasn't gone away. We're being required now to face it as individuals and as a species and as nations and as genders. That process of facing the belched up karmic refuse of human history and make sense of it, forgive it, make peace with it, heal it, reconcile with it, rectify it, make it right. And to do all of that within the brief time that may be available to us prior to climate change pressurization causing instability globally, if not potential extinction for millions of species. Is this moment to be born on this planet in this time, is this beyond absolutely miraculously fantastically, is that beyond understanding how precious this moment is for every soul on the planet? To be able to navigate this tumultuous, profound rectification, reconciliation, healing dynamic, and co-creative attainment of co-creative possibility. Is any writer going to be able to write this? Is there anyone on the planet that could have written that, oh yeah, this is what's going to happen in 2022 through 2030, and it's going to be like this, and everyone's going to feel this and think this and understand this with all the karmic reverberations, all of the possibility, the great, excellent possibility, all of the love and all of the hate simultaneously meeting and trying to find a way through the paralyzing, numbing trauma of the past in order to create a pure, harmonious, beautiful future for humanity, and to be willing to leave behind the missiles and the guns and the explosives and the weaponry of the past, and recognize that there is no place for it in our future. There just isn't. There just can't be. We can't choose another cycle of violence, another cycle of new, more powerful weaponry or competitive, destructive process, whether experienced and real or just potential. even if we don't use it, whatever it is in the future, AI weapons or whatever, cyber weapons, or some new type of bioweapon, we don't have another cycle of application of such weaponry that wouldn't lead to annihilation of much of the population, whether it's atomic warfare or cyber warfare, biological warfare, it really doesn't matter. We've seen what COVID is doing, and COVID is a bloody nose compared to anything that we would contemplate doing on global scale. So that meeting that trauma and that imagined future possible trauma, all of the history projecting the future violence and destruction that we could rain down upon each other. It could be paralyzing, or it can be formative. It can be facilitative. It can not compel us, propel us into positive possibility, into healthy, harmonious global relationship and collaboration. That is the horse we're betting on, so to speak. That is the future that we're holding most dear in our hearts and minds and souls. And that will mean the resolution of this paralyzing pain and trauma and unresolved suffering of the past, and meeting it with so much love, so much consciousness that it burns away in the light. It's just not there. And all that is there is love. And that's the single decision-making criteria for humanity moving forward. Will it serve humanity? Will it serve all of our souls? Will it serve the natural world? Will it generate a sustainable future? Is it aligned, if for those who are spiritually inclined, with spirit or not? It's amazingly simple.